Hi everybody, I think that many of you have tried this kind of Kinder Bueno bar. Let's open it up. We're gonna make the exact same one, just in a big size. But first you need to try it. On the outside we have chocolate, then a waffle layer with nut paste, and then the cream itself, which is also pretty nutty. The first thing we need is a big, huge mold. Our dad's gonna make it for us from this huge pipe. Using a tape measure, we measure out a meter of 20 and mark it with a marker. From the side, we drill a hole with a screwdriver and then cut the pipe with a jigsaw. Now we're going to draw along and cut the pipe into exactly 2 parts. Now we will make a stand out of wood. To do this, we cut a large board into 2 parts, circle the outer diameter of the pipe, and cut it with the jigsaw. With sandpaper, we knock down all of the burrs. 2 such details are needed. We need a wide board to put between them, and tighten everything with screws. Two large semicircles were also carved out of wood, and 3 smaller ones, but at the same time they are twice as wide. We put half of the pipe on the stand, lubricate a large semicircle with glue, and put it into the pipe. Additionally, we fix them with screws. We put the missing parts in, and our form is ready. But in order to be used, we take some small half circles and wrap them with some cling film. Done. Then we lubricate our mold with some oil. We're going to smear it along the walls. And then glue down some parchment paper. Then we put everything back in its place. Let's start our cooking with the nuts. There are 20 kilograms of them here. We transfer them into a meat grinder. And grind them through a small nozzle. Now we'll need a mélange, sugar, and cocoa. We collect 1 kilogram of crushed nuts, then turn on the mélange and pour them in. By the way, at first while the mass is dry, it can stop. Therefore, we'll help it out. Then add in some sugar and cocoa powder. After about 40 minutes, we'll get a chocolate nut paste. Let's tilt our mélange and put all of the paste into a pan. Thus, we turn 10 kilograms of nuts into the paste. Done. Now let's make our dough for the waffles. We break 48 eggs into a big gastro pan. Add 3 kilograms of sugar. For taste, we'll use some vanilla sugar. And then we go to the butter. Cut off 1.5 kilograms and put it into a saucepan. Also add 1 kilogram of margarine. Let's put all this onto the stove. Melt and pour into our big catering pan. Let's whisk our mix until it's smooth. Now we just need to pour in 3 kilograms of flour. And then finally knead the dough. Done. We scoop it up with a spoon and put it into our waffle iron. We close them. And after 3 minutes, they're ready. You can get them out. And then we open up our nut paste and spread a thick layer onto the waffle. Then we glue it inside of the mold. We worked with like a conveyor belt really, and while one was making waffles, 4 waffle irons at once, the second was putting them into a mold until it was completely filled. Now let's go to the cream. We open up some bottled chicken eggs and pour them into a bowl. There are 20 eggs in each bottle, and so we have 10 of them in total. Pour in 3 kilograms of flour and mix it all with a mixer until smooth. And then we made this thicker, and we will cook the cream in such a huge saucepan. We take a lot of milk out of the refrigerator. Open them up and pour them into a large saucepan. Then we put this under the burner, cover with the lid, and turn on the gas. As soon as the milk is heated, we add in 12 kilograms of sugar to it. And mix it all with a construction mixer. Without stopping stirring, pour in the thickener into a thin stream. You also need to melt 3 kilograms of butter. Pour this into the cream. And here are the remaining crushed nuts. Mix them into our cream. You gotta do this until it's smooth. It's already thickened up, so we pour it into our mold. We spread out the waffles with the remaining nut paste and put it on top of the cream. That's it, we send our mold into the freezer. Two days later, everything's hardened up. Therefore, we move on to the next step. We're gonna open up some milk chocolate and send it into a Marmite. Turn it on so that it starts to heat up, and stirring constantly, melt that chocolate. Now it's liquid, but to make it even better on the bar, you need to add some oil. And mix. It's much more liquidy now. Now it's time to get the mold out of the freezer. We transfer the liquid chocolate onto the waffles and smear it around. We keep doing this until we cover the entire surface with chocolate. Now let's put some more chocolate in the Marmite. We put a sheet of chipboard on top of the bar and press it as hard as possible with stretch film. First, we lower the form to the floor. And then we already turn it over into this little thing covered with film. Now the stretch film can be removed. Carefully lift up the mold. And tear off the parchment. And open up the film around that wooden semicircle. We screw a self-tapping screw into it and take it out. And then we remove the film itself. The extra milk chocolate pellets have already been melted. Therefore, we scoop milk chocolate with a measuring cup and just pour it all over our bar. We do one more layer. And then just let the chocolate harden. Now we just need to repeat only these thin strips of dark chocolate. Therefore, put a bowl on a steam bath, put some dark chocolate into it. And constantly stirring, melt it. Our already liquid chocolate is poured into a pastry bag. And we pour this over the bar. That's it, our giant Kinder Bueno is finally ready. I think it turned out just perfect, you guys. Well, let's cut off a piece. Hello everybody, today we're preparing our longest made pizza, which will take 4 days to cook. Day 1. We'll start with the longest one, namely the dough. We send 270 grams of ordinary wheat flour to the bowl, as well as 30 grams of whole grain. Pour 200 milliliters of water and put it into the mixer. Cook on the nozzle, and knead the dough for about 5 minutes. Remove the bowl, cover with saran wrap, and put into the fridge for 1 hour. Then we take it back out and put it into the mixer. Pour a little cold water into the bowl and break 5 grains of light yeast. Mix. Pour into the mixer salt and knead. Take a bowl, pour some olive oil in, and smear it around with your hand. The kneaded dough is now sent to the bowl. Cover the top with saran wrap and leave it onto the table for half an hour. We take it out, stretch it out in different directions, and put it back into the bowl. Right back where it started. Again, cover with saran wrap and leave for half an hour. Repeat the same thing. We are now preparing the longest dough of all, designed for pizza. The idea behind this dough is that it is not infused as usual in the heat, but on the contrary, in the cold. Due to the fact that yeast ferments very slowly, the dough will have a completely different flavor and taste. We return it to the bowl. And now we leave it in the refrigerator for 3 days. We will prepare products for an unusual sausage. Pour water into a bowl. Add quite a lot of salt and mix. We put the beef tongue into the brine. It will be soaked and salted for a day and a half. Also, fatty pork and beef are needed from the meat. Cut all the meat into cubes. Now, sprinkle the meat with nitrite salt. It works as a preservative and will increase the shelf life of our future sausage. We also add ordinary salt. We mix this all up. We put the meat into a bowl. Cover with the lid. And back into the fridge to salinate. Day 2. We're going to pickle some mushrooms, but not these. Pour water into a saucepan. Some garlic, a little bit of cloves, a mixture of peppers, mustard seeds, salt, and sugar. We will also cut chili peppers. And send them into the marinade. Cut a lemon. Cut out the juice. And heat the marinade on the stove. While it is heating up, we will cut the champignons. The marinade is boiling, so you can put the mushrooms into it. We cook them for about 20 minutes. And they're ready. You can put them into a jar. Close it. And leave the mushrooms to marinate in the refrigerator. Next in line, the stracciatella cheese. Pour 4 liters of the maximum fat milk into a saucepan. It is better to use homemade milk, because it turns out from the store every other time. Put the pan on the stove. Insert your thermometer and cover with a lid. As soon as the milk has heated to 50 degrees, remove it from the stove. Pour in vinegar, 7 tablespoons. Mix it all up. The milk will gradually peel off, and we have gathered such a big lump of cheese. Squeeze out excess moisture so that the cheese is dense. The cheese is back in the pan. Add salt to the serum. In hot whey, we bathe and stretch the cheese, thus it is salted. After about 10 minutes, we stretch the cheese into as long strips as possible and send it to cold water so that they cool down. That's it. We open up some heavy cream and pour it into a bowl. Add salt and mix. And now we take the cheese, cut it into segments of 10 centimeters, after which we dissolve it into thin strips with scissors and dump them into the salted cream. That's it. With that, our stracciatella is ready. We send it into the fridge and let it soak up the cream. Day 3. Finally, we will make our sausage. The beef's tongue has already been well salted, so we set it to boil for 2.5 hours, but not in boiling water. Its temperature should be about 87 degrees. When the time has come, we take out the tongue and put it in cold water. Now, using a knife, we cut off the outer shell from it. Until it is completely cleaned. We cut it first into slices. Then into strips. And at the end into small cubes. Done. Then we take our salted meat out of the refrigerator, put it into a saucer of our meat grinder, and twist it to be minced meat. Be sure to use a fine grind here. Here we need the smallest mincemeat possible. Done. Now we put this mincemeat in a blender and pour in powdered milk instead of phosphates, red pepper, and ice for the juiciness of the sausage. We put it in a blender and just grind it all into a paste. Done. We transfer the emulsion to a bowl. And make another batch of the same. To make the color of the sausage more beautiful, we add a bit of pink food dye, quite a lot of peeled pistachios, and cubes of beef tongue. We put the bowl in the mixer and mix it all up. Done. This is the sausage, only in its raw form. We transfer to a cooking bag so that it can easily be stuffed into the sausage. There it is. But we don't have a sausage casing, therefore we will make it ourselves. We unfold the thermal package, cut off a piece of the desired length, then we mark it in the middle, and with the help of a vacuum cleaner, we solder it exactly along the line. After that, we cut along the seam. And we get 2 shells. We cut off the tip of the cooking bag and fill it. We twist one edge. And fix it with a thread. Do the same thing with the other half. Cut off all the excess. The sausage should be packed very tightly so that it springs when falling. We made 2 sticks. And we will cook the sausage in Marmite. So we pour water. Up until the dash minimum. We set the gas stroke capacity with water. Set the highest heating. I have it at 80 degrees. We give time for all this to heat up and cook the sausage. After half an hour of cooking, we stick in a thermometer and pour some cold water in advance. As soon as the sausage reaches 70 degrees inside, we take it out and quickly cool it off. At this point, she's completely ready. We leave it in the fridge. The last 4th day. We're gonna make a creamy pizza sauce. To do this, we send a package of cream cheese into a bowl. Also add some dried basil, salt, and 200 milliliters of very heavy cream. All that's left is only to beat all this with a mixer to a very dense cream. This sauce is ready. Now we need a red onion. We peel it from the husk. and take out these small petals from the inside. Cut the remaining parts of the onion into cubes. I will also use leeks. We cut them in half, make incisions along, and also finely chop. Now we put the two types of onions into a small frying pan. Throw in some water and sugar, and mix it up. And to give an unusual flavor to the onion, pour in some whiskey. And over medium heat, caramelize the onion to such a transparent purple color. It's ready. We put it into a bowl. And the onion petals are simply fried quickly. We will cook our pizza in a wood-burning oven. Just need to add firewood so that it warms up properly. We're gonna have some bell peppers on our pizza, but not in raw form, so we throw them directly into the fire. 2 minutes and they've been charred. This is what we need. We scrape off the burnt film with a knife. And behind that, we're left with an awesome pulp with an aroma of smoke. Separate the pulp from the seeds and tail. And cut into cubes. Let's open up our homemade sausage. And cut into it. Well, let's move on to the dough. Sprinkle the shovel with semolina so that the dough doesn't stick. We take out our super stretching dough, spread it onto the spatula, and begin to crush it with our hands. Next, we stretch the pizza base by tossing and strolling like this. And so on until the dough is not even enough to cover the entire shovel. The first layer is the sauce. We spread it out and smear it on the dough. Next come the pieces of our homemade sausage. We open up a jar of our pickled mushrooms and spread them around. The main thing is to do it evenly. The next thing we got our stracciatella cheese. We lay it on 4 points on the pizza. Fried onion petals. And already in them, we spread caramelized onion with whiskey flavor. All that's left is to scatter the pulp of a bell pepper with the aroma of smoke. The stove is warmed up. We push the coals closer to the walls. Sweep it with the ashes. And send the pizza to the oven on hot stones. After about 5 minutes, we turn it around because the heat from the coals is much stronger. And all that's left to do is to hold it a little near the ceiling of our onion so that the cheese completely melts. At this point, the pizza is completely ready in 100 hours. Let's cut it up.